morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today is January 19, 2021. Welcome to the Julie and Milo show. My name is Julie. I'm coming to you from Newport Coast, California. My dear friend Milo. Milo, could you please say hello?
Hello from Nashville. Milo from Nashville.
Thank you, Milo. Yes, when Milo and I are getting together, we have a lot of things to talk about. We're talking about how life is going, the current situations in our life, and then we're talking about on passive. On passive is something that thousands of us are talking about every day. We're connecting each other through on passive, and on passive, it's all started with Mr. Ash Mufarad. On passive is an artificial intelligent information technology company. It is a real company, a real business with real people, and yet real people with real stories. But today we do have a special guest, a very successful man that we all wanted to hear what he's talk about. And I'm just gonna go ahead and let Milo, if you could please introduce our guest, Milo.
Absolutely, Julie. We are so thrilled today to have this guy with us. And we all know him as kind of the numbers guy. But I'd like to bring him out right now, Mr. Michael Williams with AIM. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for having me today. Great to be here with you, both Julie and Milo.
Oh man, thank you. You don't know what an honor it is for us to have you on the show, man. We've all seen you so much, and going through your numbers things, and you get us excited every time you talk. That's for sure, and it's just great to be in, to watch you on the videos and stuff. But I gotta ask you. Let me ask you about. Can you give us a little bit of background? Where were you born? Your siblings, how many siblings you got, your mom, dad, and, your family?
Sure. So I was born in Jamaica, and I came to Canada at a very young age, did most of my school here, went to the States on a football scholarship, so did that, finished off my degree here in Canada with a math degree. After going around in so many different channels. So, I did the mechanical engineering thing, did the business thing, did the computer science thing, and then finally decided to just finish off with math. So that's kind of the route I took education-wise. But I found that most of my education kind of came after all of that. Just being out there in the workforce, being out there working for myself, etc. That's kind of where the real learning, started. As far as my family, I'm married, three wonderful children. I've been married now for over 18 years, and it's life is good. Life is good.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Michael. I noticed that there is an abbreviations behind your name, AIM. If you could tell us a little bit about what it is and what does that represent?
Sure. AIM, Automatic Internet Millionaire. And so about 10 years ago, my thought has always been, we joined these companies, and they have the resources, they have the money, they have the technology. Why can't we simply just join the company, pay them, and they will then do all the work for us? Right. So I believe that's what companies should do. And so this was my idea 10 years ago. And so I started Automatic Internet Millionaire, where we would join different businesses and we would combine it into one system whereby, we would set up the business for them. So we've set up capture pages, autoresponders, create the sales letters, all the follow-up. And we also drove the traffic to their domain. So people actually came in with us and did absolutely nothing. All they had to do was just register. And so we were doing that for a while, but one of the things that you find with these companies is that they change their compensation plans, they change their prices, they change even their marketing schemes, and some of them actually disappear. So, it was a struggle doing that because it wasn't our products. Right? It wasn't our services. We're always partnering with other companies, and so that was a struggle and also frustrating having to restart and restart and restart as things didn't go as planned. But that was the concept anyhow. It was basically to have people to come in whereby we can do everything for them. And that was from 10 years ago. And, we're still generating the income stream from that today, although we don't promote it at all at this point. But it certainly gave us a tremendous amount of experience over the past 10 years.
Wow, that's awesome. That is so cool. So I've got to go back to when I asked you. You said you're from Jamaica. I went to Jamaica. I loved it over there. It's like everyone seems to be happy all the time. Like me, it's great. And they sing and stuff. But you said you played on a football scholarship. Where did you play football at, and what position?
That was in Michigan, and so I was a cornerback, so defensive back. And yeah, it's just, that's my sport. It's always been my sport. Pardon?
For the Wolverines?
Not for the Wolverines. There's a school called Michigan Tech University.
Absolutely.
So that's in the northern part of Michigan.
Oh my God, Houghton, Michigan.
Yeah, there you go. The UP, Upper Peninsula.
You know where I grew up?
Where did you grow up?
Escanaba.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
I grew up in Escanaba. Who would have known that?
Yeah.
If there's one place I would never live, it would be Houghton, man.
There you go. That is so true.
Winter all the time up there. I was up there in July and there was still snow on the freaking ground.
Well, listen, when I went down for a recruiting trip, it was in the summertime, of course. And I thought, wow, this is just an awesome place. You can leave your home, leave the door open, car door open. You had, none of those issues there. And I'm like, this is just a great place to come. And so after I noticed in October, you're playing in snow, I was like, I don't think this is for me down here, So I wasn't looking forward to that playing in snow in October. December I can understand, but not October.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember seeing pictures of where, the snow went right up the roof and they would dig holes into the door and the windows. And I'm like, how can people live up here? Oh, that's a great thing, oh man. Thanks for sharing that.
That's very interesting. Michael, I know that you had answered the previous questions about AIM. I'd like to actually going back into it a little bit about the company that Milo and I, and now connecting with you and getting to know you through that company. That company is ONPASSIVE, which we are so excited about it. Tell us a little bit, when did you come in and why did you join ONPASSIVE?
Okay, so in July of 2018, one of my members who was part of AIM, he shared the information about ONPASSIVE with me. And have I heard about it, etc. And I was like, well, no, but sure, I'll take a look. And so I just did a little, just brief. I didn't spend any time on it. And as soon as I heard, the 100% done for you, I was like, nah, it's not gonna work. Cause this is what we were doing, and we keep spinning our wheels. But then others kept sending me the information. You got to take a look at this thing. And so I said, okay, all right. So I took the time and I went through the information. I saw those two first videos by our CEO, Ash Mufara. And I tell you, I said, listen, if this guy can pull this off, if he can really do this, if he has the resource and the tech behind him, then this is a winner. So I jumped in, thereafter, and it's just a done deal. As the saying goes, it's just a done deal. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's awesome. With ONPASSIVE, it's so awesome. I like to say, that I believe that ONPASSIVE is changing the world one person at a time. And it started with Ash Mufara, and it goes down to all of us. And it's incredible the way this whole system works. But I realize that we're not a network marketer. We're not an MLM. We are definitely not that. We are a licensed registered company around the world. But I do feel that it's got it will have a big place in these different industries. Do you feel the same, like MLMs, network marketers? I could see them using it, the big list, the email, a lot of the portfolios we've got. Can you expand a little on that?
Sure, absolutely. And so, when someone wants to come on the internet and they want to, build a business, they have to have a domain name. Okay, that's your location. That tells people where you are. And so, that's one thing they have to have. They need to have autoresponders because they need to automate a lot of the work, a lot of the following up, even the presenting, all that can be done through an autoresponder. You need to have capture pages because you need to capture your visitor's information. You want to be able to market to your visitor or communicate with them over and over again. And that's the purpose of a capture page. So a lot of times I see people have a website up and they have no way of knowing who came to their site and have any additional way to further contact the individual over time. And so it's important to be able to capture. When you go into stores, especially here in Canada, when you go into a store, that's almost like the first thing they want. They want your email address, and because that is so important. Email address is crucial when it comes to communication. And so for any business, whether you're in the restaurant business, whether you're in, sports apparel business, grocery stores, it doesn't matter. You want to be able to communicate with your customers so you can get repeat customers. Anytime you have some sort of discount or sale going on, you want to be able to communicate that to your customer base. So email is very, very important. And so, when you look at the ecosystem that ONPASSIVE, has, this is a dream come true for anyone who's in the network marketing space, multi-level, affiliate marketing, referral, whatever you want to call it. Anyone that's in the marketing space, they definitely need to be in ONPASSIVE or at least be a customer of ONPASSIVE, because the crucial piece that most don't understand or don't know how to do is the traffic portion of it. Being able to have visitors upon visitors, being presented with your offer, being presented with whatever business that you're engaged in. You have to have that. And so many people, they fail miserably just because they don't know how to drive traffic, And so if ONPASSIVE is providing all of that, and they definitely will be providing all of that, so it's a win-win. As our CEO says, all we do here is win.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Michael, I know that I have heard a lot in the conversation that many of us founders having, that if you are in ONPASSIVE, you're guaranteed to have the success. Now, I haven't been any company that actually guaranteed my success. Now, we are in ONPASSIVE together, and I know you are a number guy, and you do talk about numbers a lot of time. So how can one be successful when he or she being in ONPASSIVE?
Okay, so for someone to be successful, you have to be able to create sales. You have to generate sales. If you can't generate sales, you're not going to make any money. Okay, and so as someone joins a particular business, most people don't know how to sell, right? They just don't. Maybe you're a lawyer, maybe you're an accountant, maybe you're a doctor, dentist, teacher, garbage collector, carpenter, whatever the case may be. But most people, they just know what to do within their profession, right? But selling now, that's a total different ball game. Pick up a newspaper. There's always sales positions, always, right? Because it's a high turnover industry, okay? Because most people just don't know how to do it. It's an art form, okay? And so what you have with ONPASSIVE is saying, listen, we are going to do the selling for you. We're doing the work. Part of the work is selling, it's sales, right? So if you have that part taken care of, which is, very, very difficult for most, they just can't recruit. Someone joins a business and you say, okay, you only have to have 2 signups or 2 customers, and they can't even get 2, right? So most people just can't do it. Yet you have some individuals that can get 500, 600, 700, personal sales, right? Or personal referrals. Some people can go and build a network of 10,000, 50,000, 100,000. And yet you have some who can't even build a network of 2, right? Or 3 or 4. They just can't, right? And so if you have a company that's coming out and saying, yes, we are going to do this. We have solved, the age-old problem for networkers or anyone engaged in that type of activity. We have solved the problem. You can't recruit, not a problem. We've got you covered. You can't sell, not a problem. We got you covered. So if that is taken care of, if the selling part is taken care of, and you're going to have customers upon customers upon customers upon customers, then your success is guaranteed.
Wow.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that's so awesome, and I agree with you. I mean, the old way of get three and they get three and they get three and it looks easy on paper, but it never works out that way.
That's right.
It
That's
never
right.
works out that way. Even though if you can get your three, you're still dependent on the other people getting their three, and it doesn't happen. So
Absolutely.
this is the beauty of this thing, and I love the part I love about it too is the giving back. When we first come in, it was about thinking. We talked to a lot of founders, and it's about thinking about how much money we're going to make and this and that. But then it moves away from that because you realize that's guaranteed that you're going to make money, that it's there, and you go into the give back program, where you give out and then people come in, and it's a beautiful thing, to be able to bring people in for free. Expand on that a little bit.
Mhm. Well, OnPassive was created, in order to help people create wealth. OnPassive wasn't created, to help someone make an extra couple $100 a month or 500, 1,000 a month. If that's what a person wants, yeah, that's fine, and that is covered, right? But the idea behind it was, if I can help people become wealthy, and this is Ash Mafar speaking, if he can help people become wealthy, you know, won't those individuals now turn around and take their newfound wealth and bless others with it, right? And that's his goal. Now we know most people, I believe, will do that. There's going to be some, but that's okay. If we can just get another person and then another person and another to just follow suit, right? To catch hold of this type of a vision, whereby you can help millions of people around the globe, right? Because of how you have been helped, how you have been blessed, right? And so that's what's going to happen here. Again, not everyone's going to be millionaires, right? Not everyone's going to be making a gazillion dollars. No, 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 right? But you're going to have some folks that all of a sudden now they're making $1 million a year from this business. Okay, do they really need $1 million a year, to be happy, to have a successful lifestyle, right? In most cases, no, right? And especially we're talking about it from a global perspective. Maybe in America or Canada, UK, Australia, Germany, but there are a lot of countries around the world that if that individual can just get a hold of, say $10,000 a year, that person can live like a king or a queen in their country, so it doesn't take a whole lot. And so I believe that this company can produce, well over 10,000 individuals that will be millionaires in this business, right? And if that be the case, just think of how many lives that they in turn can bless. Because sometimes that money can go a long way. Sometimes you take that money now and you've created another business. You started a company where you can employ others. And so that's how you're helping people. Not necessarily, here's 1,000 for you, here's 1,000 for you. No, right? You can now go into communities and create jobs, right? Whereby you're now stimulating the economy, and now you're helping so many people they have a purpose in life. Those kids that are on the street don't have to be on the street anymore, because now I'm actually teaching you how to fend for yourself, right? By giving you a job. Okay. Not everyone's going to be in business for themselves, right? And that's not necessary, right? I still need somebody to come and shovel my snow. I still need somebody to cut my grass. I need somebody, when something goes wrong inside the home, to come in and fix the problem, because that's not me. Okay. So, it's important that we want to stimulate the economy. And so the way OnPassive has this thing set up where we can bless other people's lives, why wouldn't I want to bring as many into it so that they can get a direct blessing and then indirectly bless others as well, right? So, it's just a beautiful thing the way it's all set up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the numbers really quick. And if it needs some time, we can wait for it. But I have a couple of people asked me within my team. They said, Julie, I have about 20 people that I brought in directly under me. Out of those 20 people, there's only 3 people that actually really do something, really be and get involved in. And they'll probably have about 2, 3 people under them. What kind of the number am I making when this company OnPassive launched? I didn't have the answer for that. So you are the number person. And I like to maybe have you answer that question.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people, want to micromanage their business, right? And so they're looking at it from, a small point of view in the sense of, what am I going to make the first month? I have this many people, how much am I going to make? But in the grand scheme of things, in the big picture, okay, people should be looking at this business, 3 to 5 years out, okay? So you may have 3 people on your team, you may have no one on your team, you may have 20 on your team, right? But how many will you have on your team 3 years from now, 4 years, 5 years from now, even 12 months from now, right? That's how I like to look at this business. And I believe that anyone joining now as a founder, within the first 12 months, they can easily see 1,000 on their team, right? So imagine if you only have 10, if you have 20. Okay, well, by the end of the year, by the end of, where we're in 2021, so come December 2021, you could have 1,000 on your team. How many people, based upon other companies that they've been involved with, have ever seen 1,000 on their team? I've ever created a network of 1,000, right? And so, when I look at that, to convert that back to numbers, convert it back to income, I believe that those who are founders, in their first year, regardless of what their situation is, regardless of how many on their team, those individuals can see a realistic income potential of $6,000 in their first year. Now, some people look at that and they hear that number, they think, wow, that's kind of small, right? But what we're talking about is any situation, okay? Meaning it could be someone who has 0 on their team right now, could be someone who just joined today, right? That individual can see something like that. And if you spend $97 to join a business, and then you spend anywhere from $100 to $250 for your product package purchase, right, at launch, if that's all that's out of your pocket, that's it, nothing else, right? And after 12 months, you've generated $6,000. Where else can you go, and what other business can you join where you didn't even do a thing? The company's doing all the work for you. Right? The company is the one that's driving the traffic. The company is one that's presenting. The company is one that's following up, right? When you get customers, the company is the one that's in communication with these customers. You're not even servicing your customers, okay? You're not even servicing them. So the company is doing all of this for you. And if all you make is, say, $6,000, listen, I know some folks in India, and if that's all they got in their very first year, they're ecstatic, right? Ecstatic. I know some folks in PNG, if that's what they get in their first year, same thing, right? Same thing. And we can go on and on. Vietnam, Philippines, again, if you look at the average income that countries generate, just as a whole in any industry, right? There's only a handful of countries that make, upwards of $40,000 per year. Right, I'm going to guess here and probably say maybe 20 countries in the world. That's it, right? So that's not a lot, right? So that tells me if someone is able to generate that without lifting a finger, right? The company gives us the opportunity to have multiple accounts. So imagine someone who has 10 accounts, they made $6,000 for each one. That's $60,000 in their first 12 months, right? So there's ways and means that people can multiply that amount, right, without necessarily having to build and build and build. You don't have to be a big builder in this business. Even if you are a big builder, even if right now you have 50,000 on your team right now, okay? Don't you think that you need millions, right? Like if because that person who's a big builder, they're thinking big. They're thinking, you know what? Yeah, I want to be making, 7 figures, 8 figures annually in this company, right? 8 figures is $10 million a year. Right? So I'm sure, and because I do know some of them, okay, so I'm sure there's some thinking along those lines. Okay, but if the company is going to generate, hundreds of millions of customers over time, the 1,000 that you have, or the 10,000 that you have, or the 50,000 that you have right now on your network, that's tiny, right? That's tiny, And so when we put it in those perspective and look at it from a macro standpoint, what we have, what we're doing, it's not that important. I just tell people, listen, do what you can. If what you can do is to build a network of 3, so be it. If you can build a network of 15, so be it. Do what you can, because whatever you do you're speeding up your process for success, right? You're going to get there faster. If your income goal is to get to $5,000 per month, well, by you pre-building now before we actually launch, you've just now, took a giant leap to you getting to that income goal. Because there's those in ONPASSIVE right now who are already in a position, as soon as the door opens, day one, they're making $8,000 per month, 10,000. 15,000, 20,000 per month on day one, right? So the bottom line is that there's a huge upside to this, right? A massive upside. And so anyone get in, like we say, you're in, you're going to win. We're in it to win it. It's a done deal. It's a done deal.
Wow, that's that's some awesome stuff, Mike Williams. Man, when you think about it and you put all that in perspective, it is so cool. And I know that you said about the internet or TV and stuff like that. If that happens to go, man, it just explodes this even much more. But unfortunately, we're running out of time. But man, thank you so much for coming on and talking to us today and going through this stuff. I know the founders are going to love what you have to say. And I just want to thank you for coming from one Uper to another. I would have never known that if we had had this show and talked, So I want to thank you for coming on the show and blessing us.
Actually, Milo, if I may keep Michael a little bit longer, because okay. I do have an itching questions that someone had asked me to ask, and actually for myself as well. Every time when we talk about something, the knowledge, the passion is there. But if you come to someone who has no idea what ONPASSIVE is about, and all we do is just kind of like pouring all the passion and knowledge on top of them, it kind of lose their attention span. So to me, I'm always trying to find a hook. You got to find a statement or a sentence that kind of hook, that kind of get people attention, just like what you're doing with internet. What is your hook questions, or what is your statement, or if there is something out there, because a lot of our webinars are like maybe 30 minutes, an hour, 10 minutes. It might go, people attention span might go somewhere. So I like to have something where it's just basically just a hook. I mean, that just kind of summarized all of what I'm trying to explain or ask.
There's so many things that I've used in the past and still continue to use, and I'm always changing things up, but for me, it's trying to find little one-liners that can get somebody's attention. But more importantly than that, it's what information am I providing? I like to give them something short, a 2-minute video, a 3-minute video, something that's short, even 12 minutes. Most people, when they watch a video, the first 3 minutes and that's it, so you really have to captivate their attention in that time frame, so off my head right now, I'm not sure if I can come up with a quick liner, but I know in the past I've used stuff like, if I can show you a way, to generate $1 million in the next 12 months, will you pay attention? How to become an automatic internet millionaire in your first 12 months. Just little stuff that make people stop and think that, what does he mean by that? What are they trying to say? How would you live your life, if in the next 3 to 5 years, money was no longer an issue? Something like that, right? You just little things that make people think. Once you do that, so that's like my subject line, right? Just a little thing, could you use an extra, $100,000 a year? Just anything, right? Just something that people can relate to, right? Would an extra $500 a month make a difference in your life? Just different things that's gonna, make the person says, okay, let me see what that's about, right? And I like the idea of the 100% done for you. So being able to, say to somebody, what would your life be like if you can make money while you sleep, right? How would you like to make an extra, $3,000 per month without you lifting a finger? Just different things that you just throw at people that's going to make them, at least get their attention, because that's what you're trying to do, right? And then I take a little video or something and I put it in front of them within that message, and that's going to sort them. That's going to say, okay, that person is interested, so they're ready to get in, or they're interested but they got questions, right? Or the other one is it's not for them. And so I'll then spend time with those who are interested, right? So whether it's to get in now or whether it's to have questions, right? And obviously the ones who say, nope, they're not interested, then okay, they go into a separate pile, right? So, it's just things like that, Julie, is kind of how I go about it. And following up. Following up is so key. You just got to do it over and over and over and over and over again. So when I have like pending founders, I send them a message. And so, 2 weeks may go by, I send them another message, but always following up with them. And sometimes a year later, somebody joins, right? So even though I contacted them, 12 months ago, but because I was consistent with the following up, things happen. But yeah, but people it's trial and error. There's no magic pill. There's no one sentence that's going to work, but you just keep changing things up, tweaking. I don't like to do a full change. So I'm pretty much using the same information that I've used 2.5 years ago. I'm still using it today. I just tweak it, right? I just keep tweaking. That goes for a little bit. Now it's time to tweak it again. And you just keep doing that. And then you see the results.
Wow. I think consistency is the key. Don't they say normally, like if you're emailing or if you're sending someone something, usually it takes them seeing it about 7 times before they actually respond? Is that
Yeah, that number is thrown out there. I don't know how true it is,
yeah.
but it's thrown out there. But I just simply say that, hey, listen, it doesn't hurt to just keep following up, because you can automate the follow-up process, by the way, right? This is what an autoresponder does. So you can create a whole bunch of follow-up letters, and you can designate, okay, every 2 days or once a week or whatever. You can put in the time frame that these things will automatically go out, and there's nothing for you to do. Once that person comes into your system, there's nothing you need to do, right? You're just off on your own, doing your own thing, while the software, okay, that's doing all the work for you, knowing that, okay, today, another 1,000 emails went out. Okay, another day, okay, another 1,000. And so that just keeps happening. And if a person don't want to be on your list, they just click a little button, click, unsubscribe, okay, and done, right? It's that easy. But it does take creativity, skills, all of that to be able to put this stuff together. And thank God that ONPASSIVE will be doing all of that for us, so we don't have to worry about it.
So they'll probably have a drip campaign set up for you in the autoresponders, you think?
Oh, absolutely. Like once we launch, it's game over. Once we launch, all it is about free trial members, right? And so we're going to be getting trial members coming in, and you yourself can be part of that process, in the sense of you can direct people as well. If you have a list, whatever the case may be, even your family, friends, you can do the same thing with them. You just want to direct them to that domain name, which is yours. And that's going to have, a capture page. It's going to have a way to capture their name and email address. Once that takes place, the company in the back end with the AI technology, et cetera, they're going to be doing all this following up with these individuals. You don't have to lift a finger. It's a beautiful thing. And we're just going to see customers coming in and customers coming in and customers coming in, because it's a well thought out process. The fact that we'll have a different page every day, like that's golden.
incredible.
That is golden. So it's going to be an awesome ride, no doubt.
That is absolutely incredible. I love it. I know this has really come down to my last questions, and I have to ask these questions because I feel that if I can stand on top of the mountain and scream and share about ONPASSIVE, nobody would hear. And I'm very sure there are a few people who are actually watching this video right now, still on the fence, or there are founders already in ONPASSIVE, still have not done anything. So what is your word of wisdoms to the people that still on the fence and the people that already in ONPASSIVE and hasn't done much?
Well, listen, if you are serious about your financial life, okay, if you are serious about your financial life, you need to make that $97 decision, okay? Because that's what I ask people to do, right? Listen, you're making a $97 decision. Think of what you could be doing with that $97, right? What would you spend it on, right? I did a training last night, and what I was sharing with the group is just that listen, a person takes that $100, what would they have done with it? Put it in Bitcoins? You know, like today. I'm not talking about when it was $1 or $500 or even $1,000. I'm talking about today, right? So you're gonna take $100. Oh, I'm gonna buy some Bitcoins because that's just the thing to do, right? Okay, for that $100 to become $200, Bitcoin would have to double in value. You would have to go from 35,000, let's say, to 70,000. Do you think that's going to happen in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, even next year? It's possible it could happen in a year from now, but the likelihood is that it's not going to happen a year from now, right? It could happen. It's a possibility, right? But think about that, though. That's just to go from $100 to $200. Now, how is that going to change your life? If your $100 goes to $200, is that going to change your life? No, it's not, right? But think about being in ONPASSIVE. A person becomes a founder for that same $100, right? What will their life look like 12 months from now, right? There's a realistic chance that even if that person, comes in and they're letting the company do all the work for them, there's a realistic chance that they can see income potential of $6,000. So let me see now, $100 to $200, $100 to $6,000. Which one would I choose, right? Which one has a more realistic chance of occurring, right? So these are the things that people should really be thinking about, because what else is there? What else is there that's out there? You tell me what company I can go join right now, and the company says, hey, we're going to set up a unique domain name for you, right? So it's yours, right? We're going to create the content. We're going to drive traffic for you. Not just any traffic, but targeted traffic. We're going to do all that for you. We're going to do the presentations. We're going to do the following up. We're going to close the sale for you. When a sale is made, right? So here comes a customer. Guess what? You're getting paid instantly. And you could be on a beach somewhere. You can be out with your family. You could be just having a grand time while all this work is being done for you behind the scenes. Tell me which company out there is going to do that for you, right? So there isn't a company that will do that for you. ONPASSIVE is it. It's the only game in town. It's the only thing. People need to take a serious look at this. Forget about what naysayers may say. People said Bitcoin was a scam when it was $1. People said it was a scam when it was $100. People said it was a scam when it was 500, 1,000, 2,000. Even when it went to $20,000, people said it was a scam, right? It dropped all the way down to around 4,000 or so, and people see, I told you, it's a scam. But guess what? Bitcoin is still around, 35,000 plus per coin, okay? Let ONPASSIVE be your Bitcoin.
I love it. That's awesome.
Crazy. That's awesome. Milo, do you have anything else, or should I take this show toward the end?
I just want to thank you again, Michael. You get us all excited, and the way you tell it, it makes it so easy to understand. I love it. I appreciate you coming and sharing your story with us. And thank you so much. Back
Absolutely.
to you.
Thank you, Michael. Really appreciate this this conversation. It's short, but there's more to the topic of ONPASSIVE. But I really appreciate you coming on here and share your passion, share your knowledge about ONPASSIVE. Yes, everyone, if you're listening to this message, you see the knowledge coming out of this man, Michael Williams A.I.M. ONPASSIVE is it. It is the topic of our life right now. So if you're watching this message and you haven't become an ONPASSIVE founder, take the action, because the action will take you so much further in life than where it is right now, unless you are very successful right now. But ONPASSIVE is a place to be. Get back to the person who shared this message with you. And if you are a founder who hasn't done much about ONPASSIVE, we urge you to log into your back office, explore the back office, get involved into ONPASSIVE Nations, ONPASSIVE family. Get back to the person who shared this and say how blessings you have been. Because I feel blessing when Milo shared this message with you. So thank you so much for watching the Julie and Milo show. Please like and subscribe so that you have notifications from our upcoming shows. Also join the On Passive with a Heart group in Facebook. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Michael, for being here with us. Really appreciate your time. Good night from Newport Coast, California.
Good night from Canada.
Good night from Nashville.